So what if it is a financial objection? How do you handle that?
Yeah. Too easy, man. So when it comes to finances, there's an art and a skill to really overcoming financial objections. The biggest thing is I like to call it the good night kiss close, where it's like, hey, you got the boy, he's going out on a date with this girl and he's dropping her off at home, right? He gets out the car, walks over, opens her door, right? He's all nervous and he's walking her to the door, and they get to the door, and he's like, okay, this is my time. I'm going for my kiss. The goodnight kiss closes. What is the perfect line for him to say to get the kiss? And it's a trick question. I ask it all the time to audiences just to see what people say. But the real answer is by the time he gets to the door, it's too late. What determines if he's going to get the kiss is all the work that he's done up to that point. So the purpose of the good night kiss close is to explain when you're handling these objections, a lot of it is going to be determined by the process and the sales process leading up to there. And if you handle everything professionally and you present yourself as that trusted advisor, now we can get into the meat and the bones. Because one thing for certain is you need to make sure they actually have pain and want to do this. And number two, you want to make sure that they trust you enough to be open about their situation.
Hey, real quick, I know, I'm interrupting your video. Hate to do it, but something amazing just happened. I just launched my book, Mastering Objections, Turning No into Yes, and I'm telling you guys, this is probably the most practical sales book you'll ever read, particularly in the part of sales that throws everybody off, handling objections. I dare you, find a better book. See, you'll be able to go through this book. Doesn't matter what page you open up to, you're going to get game. I give you my scripts, all my word tracks, verbatim on how to handle any objection, all the toughest objections you could think of with class, without being pushy, without being manipulative, just using absolute skills. I've been able to close millions of dollars of deals with these scripts, and they can be yours absolutely free. Just pay a shipping cost. Just click the link in the description. It can be yours. Back to the video.
So, first step is always pacing the first objection. Okay, cool, Bob. So, for a moment, let's just pretend that money is out the equation, okay? How do you feel about the program specifically? Like, do you feel like ultimately this is what you need to achieve XYZ result?
Right.
Then they're going to say, yeah. Okay, cool. So, just to be clear, to me, it sounds like you're not in a should I do this place where you're going back and forth on this is the best next step to increasing, your communication skills. It sounds like you're more in a how can I do this place where you're 100% certain that this is exactly what you need to increase your communication skills. It's just a matter of making it work financially. And then if they say yes, now I know we have a financial objection. At this point, I say, okay, cool. Well, look, most of my clients, 90 to 95% of them, they pay the investment up front. But for certain clients, I don't feel like that's the best thing for them to do based on their financial situation. So we allow them to break it up. That being said, since it's your goal to do this, do you even want to explore ways that we could potentially break this up and make this work for you? Now, if you did everything right in the first part of the call, they should be saying yes. So if they say yes, I said, okay, cool. Or they might say, yeah, what are the payment plans or what does that look like? And I'll say, okay, cool. Well, we actually don't have any set payment plans. Everything really is all customized depending on, the client. So what we can do is we can look at your finances to see if this is something that we can work out now, or at the very least, we can create a game plan for you to work towards in the future so you can do it sometime down the road. And the reason I say that is very strategic because I want them to feel like, hey, I need you to be honest with me and tell me where you're at so we can work out something specifically for you. to see if we can do it now. But if we can't, bro, it ain't no problem. We'll just do this sometime in the future. Ain't no pressure. I'm not gonna pressure you into anything. So that way the tension stays low and they'll open up. So then I just followed that with, so with that being said, you tell me, are you open to having a conversation about where you're at exactly financially? So that way we can figure out what's the best next steps from here. And then they'll say yes. And I'm just like, all right, cool. So what's your cash on hand exactly right now? And then they'll tell me if we have enough trust. So then they'll tell me and I say, perfect. And ultimately, cash flow is the lifeblood of your business. So in a lot of cases, it's important that we protect that. That being said, do you have access to credit to fund your business? And they'll say no, yes, no, whatever. If they say yes, great. How many cards? Okay, what's your total credit limit? Awesome. And what do you have available versus what's used? And at this point, I'm going to get a full financial picture to see, okay, is this something we can make work now? How can I create a game plan? Can they pay in full? Or do we need to figure something else out down the road? And then it lets me know exactly how I need to follow up with it. So that makes sense?
Yep, sounds just about right.
Cool. I know it's a lot, right?
Yeah. But it actually flows really well because you're basically catering it to them, especially if you're doing a catered plan to go forward. So I like that.
Exactly.